If cash flow and rentals are everywhere, the BRRRR is a perfect strategy, and of course, hack housing is the greatest thing ever, then why are so many investors struggling or leaving the game? Well, I'm not saying expose BiggerPockets, but I'm gonna talk about some of the things they may have left out and why they have. First of all, I want to acknowledge that BiggerPockets has been a big part of my investing career and has taught me a lot. I don't currently use them now, and I'll go over that throughout the video of why I've stepped away from using BiggerPockets. I want to be very clear. This is my opinion. This is just strictly based on how I feel about things. First, I want to talk about the BRRRR. I do think the BRRRR is a fabulous strategy, but I do think that the BRRRR strategy, which is buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat, like I said, great strategy, but it leaves a lot of details out. Yes, you can do it once. Yes, you can do it twice. You can do it many times. But with the amount of credit pools and refinances and other variations that can go through a rehab, this can be a little harder to obtain than explained. I didn't watch all 400 episodes of BiggerPockets, so maybe they did go over some of this. But in this short video, I just want to make it very clear that the BRRRR is great when it works, but it is absolutely horrible when it doesn't work. So I first want to say most of my knowledge is Josh Dorkin and Brandon Turner. So if you hear me talking about much of anything with BiggerPockets, it's off of what they taught. So they taught the stack method, the BRRRR method. Then the next one is house hacking. So house hacking actually is one of the things I'm not going to talk too bad about because I do think it's a pretty good strategy. One of the big things I do think that could hurt you is if you're not ready to be a landlord. You could be jumping into a landlord on very little entry, just thinking, oh, I got this extra unit. As house hacking is when you live in one side, they rent out the other units. You got to be very intentional about this, and you want to be a landlord. I wouldn't necessarily, you don't have to tell the person that's living next door that you are the landlord, but you are going to have to fix the problems as that's part of what a landlord does. But if it works out right, you typically do live for free, and you can turn that into a lifetime of investing. Now, cash flow, and this goes into part of the BRRRR method because without cash flow, the BRRRR method does not work. So I always remember Brandon Turner say buy 2, buy 4, buy 6, just stack each year. Cash flow and you know it breaks down into your capex and your property management, and they told us about all that stuff. But what they didn't tell you how cash flow can vary so much. You can go from cash flow in 200 one year to 400 the next year, and then rents can go down. The market might not, you might not have picked the right market, which that's on you to find that right market, but rents can go down. Taxes are definitely going to go up because when you, the taxes you're paying on a BRRRR when you buy it compared to when you refinance it or get a tax assessment could sometimes double and even triple in some places, and maybe even more. I don't know. Taxes continue to skyrocket, so that's going to eat into your cash flow. I just don't feel like they emphasize that enough. They talked more, and this could just be my perspective on how great it does work, and a lot less about how it don't work. I know Brandon gave one example about like his first project, how bad that turned out. But cash flow, like I said, it varies. And then the one thing about cash flow is it can, at least with single family, it can end in 1 month, and a couple months of vacancy is going to be way more than how they kind of explained it. So I don't feel like they lied. I just feel like they didn't necessarily give everybody the details to what they needed in some circumstances, at least on the podcast. So going over cash flow, BRRRR, and house hacking, I hope I explained it enough to where you understand where I'm coming from as an investor. I feel like I owe my investing to BiggerPockets as a text, as something that guided me, but I feel like there could be stronger information given out because going into my next part, BiggerPockets is obviously started out as a YouTube channel, but what a lot of people fail to realize is it's really a bookstore. So everything kind of comes down to selling something, which, it's a business, so it is what it is. But I just feel like in the last couple of years, it just focuses on book, 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 and I felt like the beginning books were really, really good, and then some of the books now just kind of come down to like, here's our reputation, you need this book. Like the book on real estate investing by Brandon Turner. There's a house hacking book, there's a BRRRR book, there's a flipping book, there's a property management book, and then we're the first set of books. And now it's down to like just like stuff that is just not that relevant to me. Like I think there was like a manifesto about retirement, how to get to retirement quickly, and just what some people just call some fluff books. Um, so I no longer am a member of the BiggerPockets Pro. I don't really. The only thing I really found valuable in that was their calculators were decent, but you can find some of them free online. Chat GPT could probably even help you. So it's kind of lost its relevance. The networking was not very good, at least on the website. I know some in-person events was decent. I didn't go to any, but I've heard they wasn't bad. So I'm not here to put anything down. I'm just kind of saying how I feel, reflecting as 4 years as an investor and starting out with the information I got from BiggerPockets. So I just want to pass this on to anybody that is going to consider using them in the future. Just don't put all your eggs in one basket, I guess. Like if you hear them say something, yes, it's very relevant and I'm sure it works. I know it works because I've did it myself. But look for other education as well, other perspectives. Definitely get involved in your area or where you're investing because it's so different from state to state or city to city. And I think that might be where some of the issues I've had. I actually live in a pretty good cash flow area. I live in a good house hack area. Um, so, it's not killing me, but I can imagine on the coast where things are a lot more expensive. This is not a reality. Cash flow is just not a reality. I mean, you can live off the equity, the debt pay down, but the cash flow is just not the same. And I just felt like maybe I'm wrong. And please tell me in the comments if you think I'm just sound bitter, but that's not where I'm going. So don't attack me in the comments about being bitter because I would suggest anybody new to watch the older stuff. The new stuff I don't know nothing about. I wouldn't really suggest to anybody because I haven't watched it. So what I'm trying to say in this video is I think that BiggerPockets is a great bookstore. I just think that they've got too stuck on selling things to you instead of giving you the reality of things. So if you, like I said, if you got any feedback on that, leave it in the comments. And if you want to see some of the investing I do, go ahead and check out the channel above and subscribe to the channel.